As the spiritual leader of a place of faith, Reverend Linda brings you a new lesson each week. Join us today as we share the path of spiritual enlightenment and evolution of consciousness with you. Our intention is to share content with you that encourages interest and expands the horizons of your journey. Our mission is to create a safe place to explore and develop personal, spiritual connections and relationships. Our vision is the joyous, loving acceptance of all people as an expression of divine spirit in the evolution of consciousness to oneness. All are welcome here.
This is a picture of, I'm going to get over here so hopefully our people watching on video can see it. This is a picture of my great-granddaughter, Michaela. I wanted to open with, what is joy? And then I got her to wear this hat for about 3 seconds, but I got the picture and I wanted to share it with you. This is joy. And we find it in so many ways and so many places, and we know it when we see it, and we know it when we feel it. Joy's free. It's unlimited. We can always rest in joy. Sometimes having a really adorable great-granddaughter helps. So if joy is completely free, why don't we always have it? Why don't we have it all the time? It's fun, it's wonderful, it's something we want. What keeps us from having our joy? This is a picture of a COVID testing station, and many of us feel like COVID has helped to rob us from our joy, that we've been in isolation. Our routines have been broken. Sometimes the things that we really love and want, we feel are being kept from us. And it's hard to be joyous when we're grieving for all the things we feel like we've lost. There's more blocks to our joy. Head games, the games we play in our heads. Pastor Robert read a wonderful reading about the anticipation of Christmas and how great that is, and how we can lose that as adults. What's that about? I believe so often we try and control things that are out of our control. We try and make it right for everybody, and it kind of twists us up inside, right? We get all worried about, will they like it? Are they allergic to this? Are they going to be able to come? Is the flight going to be canceled? And these thoughts, these mind games just rob us of our joy. It's so easy to step into the real world and out of joy. So one of the important things to know is what brings you joy. This is a picture of a boy and his dog jumping into the air. That jump of joy, that absolute joy. Why is he jumping? Who knows? Does it matter? He's found his joy. There are a lot of different pathways to find our joy. And I invite you to look at some of those with me. The first one is the path of ego, things that make us feel good in the world. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, in his wisdom, called this sense consciousness. This is where we find joy through our senses. Okay, so when I was growing up, we called it sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? I know, I'm that old. And that's exactly what we're talking about. How many of us didn't actually have a stage like that in our lives, where we were testing and tasting and feeling and experiencing, and that's where we found our joy? Well, at some point in time, most of us realize that's not lasting joy. It's the joy of the moment. And it's wonderful to have moments of joy. But what I'm inviting you to do today is look for a way to live a life of joy. the path of wealth and material goods, right? And again, we used to call this keeping up with the Joneses. Having the right car, having the right wardrobe, having the right hairstyle, the right partner, all the right things. I kind of grew up in a household like this. We didn't have a lot of money, but outside appearances were more important than what was going on in the inside, right? Don't talk about this. Don't tell anybody this. We have to look like this. We have to hang out with these people. Even though we may pursue that, we might feel like society today pushes us into that. We need to be all that, to be all this. The reality is that joy leaves us feeling kind of empty on the inside at some point in time. Let's look at another way. How about the path of animals? This is a picture I took at Lindo Lake. This is Mama Goose with her baby geese. That was a really awesome day. Animals, baby animals, grown animals, our attempts to conserve animals, to protect animals, to own animals, to have animals. I personally have a couple of little kittens, and they crawl up on top of me and purr. And I tell you what, it's so easy to find my joy when I have two little kittens curled in my lap, just purring away. They don't care what the weather is, who's doing what. They're just in joy, and they spread that. Animals, life, giving, loving. That's a much more fulfilling joy for most of us. Family and connections can be a place to find joy. This is my husband and one of our grandsons. I picked this picture because most of you know my husband and this particular grandson. Family can be a wonderful way of finding joy. It can also be very trying. I mean, really, family can make us crazy, right? We only want what's best for them. We love them, we protect them, we nurture them, and then they turn into what? And go where? And do what? At some point in time, as parents, as grandparents, as great-grandparents, the best thing we can do for our family is to let them go, to embrace the life they choose and the people that they become, to celebrate who they are in the world. And so often that leaves us at home, alone, while they're out doing wonderful things, and we're really proud of them, and that's terrific, and we hope they'll call. That kind of joy changes over time. That kind of joy is temporary because they're God's children, and we can rejoice in them always, but it's different when we don't have them in our house and in our laps and sharing their ideas, when they're away, living the life that we really wanted for them, and we're left missing them. That was a lot of joy, but especially at Christmas time, when they aren't with us, or even when they are, we can feel the grief of that. Joy. Joy of God, of Christ, of knowing our value, of pure love, of true love, the connection that never ends and never changes. That joy is everlasting. We find joy when we go away from the world, when we step away from the everyday things, even the kittens in my lap, when we step out into whatever it is we go to when we find God. This is one of the places I come to find God, the energy of love, the energy of peace, the energy of joy always fills me when I walk into this sanctuary. I also go into the mountains, into the trees. This is a picture of Lake Tahoe. My daughter and I took a vacation there. And even seeing pictures like this fill me with joy. the peace of knowing that God is in all things, stepping into nature, into our sanctuary, up to our altar, whatever it is, and opening to that connection that comes from within us and bringing it into the world. One of the wonderful readings that Pastor Robert did for us says, "Every act of kindness fills me with joy." Wow, that's really powerful. Whether it's protecting our trees, protecting our animals, talking to our family, every act of kindness fills us with joy. Once you know where your joy is, bring it into your dreams. Fulfill your dreams because you're worth it. Don't wait for someday. Do it now. This is a picture of me tandem parachute jumping. It was an absolute dream of my life. And honestly, it was one that I thought I'd never do. It was something I wanted to do, but it wasn't the most important thing, right? As if my dreams, your dreams, our dreams aren't important. Following our dreams is a big part of finding our joy. When we follow our dreams, we inspire those around us to follow theirs as well. What an incredible act of kindness that is. I invite you to visit the places that call to you. This is my daughter standing in front of a redwood roots. The trees are amazing. Don't you want to see them? They're out there. Many of you I know beat me to it, but it was such a wonderful experience. It was so, so beautiful. Where do you want to go? What calls to you? In unity, we follow truth, the capital T truth, the universal truth. And one of those truths is, if it calls to you, it's for you. When you have a desire, that's because the universe has opened a channel for you to go through that doorway, to fulfill your dreams, to live your joy. Don't miss that. Don't walk away from that. Don't ration your way out of it or tell yourself, I'll get it next time or maybe next year. If the call is there, if your joy is there, you should be there too. What a beautiful gift, not only for you, but for everyone. This is one of my favorite quotes from Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. Isn't that beautiful? And if I were to ask you, I know each and every one of you could tell me a story about how that happened, about how you really wanted to do this, and all of a sudden, the right person walked into your room, or the phone rang, and it was somebody saying, and we don't always remember that we're connected to all things, that our joy permeates and filters through the world, calling to us the right experiences, the right people, the right times. Follow your bliss. Follow your joy. Choose your joy and let it shine into the world. I'll tell you a little story. I had a conversation with Pastor Robert. I didn't tell him I was going to share this conversation, so forgive me. I was talking to him about joy, and I told him honestly that I don't always talk about how happy I really am. I live with that beautiful little baby we started with, my great-granddaughter, and my family is close, and we live together, we laugh together, we feast together, we visit one another. And sometimes I feel like if I talk about that, people are going to start missing their family or think otherwise. And Pastor Robert, in his infinite wisdom, said to me, do you remember? He said, "You were the smart girl in school who played dumb, weren't you?" Well, I hadn't seen it that way, right? The truth is, when I'm joyful, I bring that joy into the world. I bring that energy with me. And whether you know why I'm filled with joy or not, you feel it, and it permeates you. And it makes it so much easier for you to find that joy. It's a light that we can hold in the world. Not everybody needs to see it, but if you're looking for it, that light shining brightly makes it so much easier to find your way to your joy. I'd like to finish up with a gift to all of you. I invite you to allow me to pray for you. Those of you here in the sanctuary and those of you watching us on YouTube. So if you would just bear with me and take a breath and connect to the Spirit within. Thank you. God, through the connection that we all share, I see healing, laughter, love, and joy reaching out and enfolding every person here, every person on our hearts, every person watching on YouTube, everyone who isn't here today. We see healing and joy as their truth, as who each and every one of us is. And as we go forward into this Christmas season and every day thereafter, let there be joy, let there be health, and let there be love. And so it is. Amen.
A lot of us grew up believing at any moment we could lose it all. At the drop of a hat, God might turn his back and move on. A lot of us feel like we blew it, thinking that we're just too far gone. But I want you to know that there's still hope for you now. And no matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. Nothing can change it. You're not separated, no matter what. There's never been a better time to get honest. Never been a better time to get clean. So come as you are, run to the cross and be free. No matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. Nothing can change it. You're not separated, no matter where you run. He's always holding on. You're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what. You're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what.
Follow us on Facebook for daily meditations, prayers, and all of our videos. If you know of anyone, anywhere, who is struggling with spirituality or who wants a spiritual community, please share our videos. Commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing are also ways to support us and help us grow. Reverend Linda is available by phone, Facebook Messenger, or Zoom conference for spiritual and ministerial counseling, guidance, and direction on a love offering basis. She can be reached through A Place of Faith at sohomail.com or through Unity Church of El Cajon. A Place of Faith is sponsored by Unity Church of El Cajon at 311 Highland Avenue, El Cajon, California, 92020. You can send donations there. Just put APOF on the check, or you can also contact us through our website at www.unityofelcajon.org and make your donations on the website. Thank you for your support.